Hi, I'm Brian Cannone. Thanks for visiting fitnessatlantic.com. What we're talking about in this video is typical diets. And some of you might know about this already, and it's always good little refresher to go over it again, because it always seems that people continually make the same mistakes when they go into getting ready for starting their diet. So you want to do something to achieve a result, whether it's competing or just dropping a few pounds. First thing you want to look at is what are the typical diet plans that people seem to jump on. The first one is that they just do low calories. So they go, well, I'm just not going to eat, so I'll lose weight. Well, we know what happens. Undereating leads to cheating. So if you do not eat, what you're going to do is you're going to find you're hungry all the time. There's going to be a day of the week you're going to binge out. You're going to just go crazy, you know. And even if it's just one day a week, or if it's a little bit of a cheat, it's that cookie that you go get once a week. There's a reason that, and some people say, well, it's a reward. So they'll go, well, you know, they reward themselves with their eating plan. But sometimes you don't have to. If you really adjust the right caloric intake and you're taking in the right amount of foods and you're doing your 5 to 6 meals per day, and a lot of different things I'll get into next, which is your successful plan, you're going to find that you don't need to really do that. But the low-calorie diets, when it is too low, it's really a hard thing to deal with. You know, your calories are very low. You're continually hungry all the time. You're thinking about foods. They drive you crazy. You drive down the street and you start looking at these, you know, fast food places, and you start thinking about them where you never really paid attention to them before. And that's because your calories are too low. So, you know, it's definitely something that you want to take a look at. Number two is you just cut out all the fat in your diet. You know, fat is essential. Now, there are different types of fats which you will be paying attention to. So you have your unsaturated fat, your saturated fat. What's the difference? This new thing on trans fats, whatever that means. And you're going to find that people are they're just watching. You don't see as many people doing it nowadays as YouTube, but they used to like buy, you know, they'd be eating bagels because they're low fat, and they're eating muffins because they're low fat, or they buy low fat cookies. And there's a lot of, really got to watch that. When you're buying all the low fat foods, doesn't mean that they're healthy and you can go crazy on them. But a lot of people do for a while. They still do. They think that just because it says low fat or no fat, that something means that that's a better choice, and it's fine. You know, so you want to take a look at your plan. If that's the way you think that you're going to reach your fitness goal, it may not be your answer. Liquid diets. We've seen a lot of people getting into shakes. A lot of people are into supplements, and a lot of people ask me, well, how many shakes should I have? Should I have a shake? Should I add a shake? What's the deal on the shakes? Basically, I'm not big on shakes. You know, I've never been. Shakes and supplements like that are good when you're in a situation where you go on vacation and you just don't have the place to prepare all your meals. You have a job that doesn't allow you to eat that meal in between your breakfast and your lunch, or your lunch and your dinner. You know, those two times are hard times to eat. For different people in different types of job situations. You know, you're a police officer, you drive around your car, and you got to get in that, you know, 10 o'clock meal. What are you going to do? Okay, let me shake up my shaker and drink my shake. If you have a better choice, probably would be to eat a meal right at that time. So a lot of people think the shakes, just because they have a picture of a muscle guy on them or something, just mean that that's the answer. It's gonna do all the job for you. And they're not that bad if they're done correctly. But again, it's not everyday thing. If you can do food, it's a better choice. No carb diets. Not as, you know, you're gonna see people doing stuff like that. You know, they just cut out all the carbs. The diets are usually higher in fat. They're very short term, because when people go on a no carb diet, they don't plan to say, well, here's my life, I'm never going to eat carbs again. So I'm not, if you know, forget your pasta, forget your lasagna, forget your cakes and your cookies, and I'm never going to eat again. They don't go into that type of eating thinking that that's the way that it's going to be from the rest of their life. So, and that's the problem with most typical diets too, is they're short-term thinking. It's not, I'm just going to change my eating habits and get results and keep them. You know, people go into a diet thinking short-term, and that's pretty much the main part. That's a typical diet and what's wrong with it. So these are different things that we're looking at typical dieting, ways people think about them. Some of the things that people still think is okay. You know, they think going on a diet plan in short term is okay, and it doesn't last. The results don't last. Usually they don't even make it through the diet that they had planned. And one of the things about a typical diet is, even to help you, is a lot of times they don't have an end result for when the certain results of that diet are going to be taking place. So they're on for 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks. When is the deadline? What is the goal of what they're trying to do this typical diet for? Okay, so we're talking next. I'm going to do a video for you on successful eating plans. Okay, so this is Brian Cannone, fitnessatlantic.com. Thank you.